Hey guys, I think this one's exciting. I've created a set of cabinets for your living room with a fireplace and doors and boxes you can even store stuff in. So I'm really looking forward to showing you this one. Let's go.
All right, so this is all done with vanilla pieces, and you just need to have clipping enabled. So in the foundations where you're going to want the fireplace, you're going to need to lower them one step using a pillar. This is to lower the boxes slightly so that when you place the wooden table on top of it, it doesn't mesh through the boxes and you're able to open them up. Okay, now I am just sizing up the fireplace and the boxes. Now notice the way that I'm putting the boxes. You want to put them the same way. If you flip them on their axis, then you won't be able to open them. Replace the foundations to the correct height. Now I'm putting in the fence supports. Now a lot of this is eyeballing, guys. It's not exact. So I'm trying to use the middle line of the two foundations with the boxes, and then I'm trying to place in the middle of the boxes, and then the same thing. So those of you who have OCD, you might notice that sometimes it's a little bit off in my builds, but it's so you are more than welcome to continue to get that perfected, but it is eyeballing. You're just gonna have to do your best. Just note too, I needed it a little further away from the back wall because I use layers in my walls. My walls will have 3 layers altogether, so I needed it pushed forward a little bit. Now we're placing another set of fence foundation supports. And again, I'm not snapping one to the other, so I'm trying to line it up. And I had to ghost because I kept running into the fireplace, and I needed to be able to ghost through it to get that lined up correctly. Just checking to see if it's pretty even. Looks good enough. Okay, so I use a double glass door in the inside, and I'm going to use the double stone door on top and then also in the front. Setting up 2 layers of the fence supports. Okay, now these, the catwalks that I put on, you're going to see me take them off in a second because when it turns out that when you go back to put in the fence foundations, they were clipping to the catwalks, so I had to remove them and then put them back after. Now again, you all know I like to do layers for my walls, so I'm putting down 4 every snap point. That's what you're gonna see me doing here. Another reason why I'm doing it after I place the fence foundations, the fence supports, because the fence supports are gonna snap to these. So I needed to place them first before I put down the fence foundations. Otherwise, they would wreak havoc with the fence supports, and I would never be able to get them lined up. All right, it's looking good. I'm gonna put those catwalks back on. All right, now I'm building my wall. Again, I do my walls in 3 layers because I like the effects of the door frames in front of the windows. So just notice that I put it on the green. It's probably right in the middle there. And then I'm doing my best to cycle through to get the furthest snap point out for the Adobe door frames to be the window frames. And if they don't line up, you just go back in. Just check the seams, go back in and correct it. Now I did record as well finishing the back of this wall and the decorations that I did on, as well as, coloring everything up. I'm not including that into this video because it would make it 30 minutes long, but if any of you are interested in that kind of raw uncut footage, I can certainly make another video just for that. If you're crazy like that. And And I mean that in a good way, like a loving way. All right, now I'm going to place on the the double doors. What are they? Reinforced. That's the word. Now you're going to want to put on your boxes, and you're going to notice that it is very, very narrow. So they're going to go through the wall, especially if you're placing it on the snap points that I have. But you just need to watch to make sure that they don't go through the front doors, which in this case they do, so I have to go back and change it. And I'm just trying to line up the boxes with the furthest out point, the furthest edge of the stone double door, for as far as it will allow me on the catwalk. Now, not all of these boxes you'll be able to open at the end because some objects will be going through it, but you will get at least 2 of them. Now, you also don't have to use boxes. Catwalks can hold things like vessels, or you can put small crop plots up there if you wanted, or if you're on Prim Plus, you can put that fishing basket for decoration. But I think it's cool to actually have boxes. If you wanted to, I don't do it here, but you could take some small crop plots and put them inside the boxes. Just push it back a little bit, stack them up, and then you could put stuff on top of them. You should still be able to open the boxes even with the crop plots going through them. And then you can then put something like even on top of the boxes. Like I was just saying, the vessel or the baskets or anything like that. So you can kind of like stack it. Okay, next I'm placing my stone pillars. Just fit so nicely in there. I didn't have to put any special thing down. Okay, now this is tricky. You could have the wooden table flush with the edge, but if you do that, it impedes the box and you won't be able to open them. So I'm pushing them back just so I can get into those boxes. It's a slightly different look than if it was all the way to the edge, but that way you can still place something on top and you can still open the boxes. I'm trying to remember. I think you may only be able to open one out of each set, because the other one I think gets impeded by the glass double door frame. Alright, there's catwalks there. This is going to hold our artifact. This is me fixing the fireplace, so if you needed to, you can delete the fireplace and place it again. It's not going to break the structures around it. We're almost done. I'm just testing it. Yes, I can open up boxes. Okay. Now I'm using Artifacts of the Brute. But of course you can use any one that you want. Those are my curtains, and of course medium crop plots on the top with some vessels. And then these are just more decorative items for this particular room. Now, the plants that I use in those crop plots, it's just savalroot. And you can put the piping in later, or you can build the piping in first if you know where you want to put it. I, of course, ghosted in, and I put a pipe right up through the fireplace to water those crop plots. The colors I used were slate, mud, and brick. And that's a wrap. I hope you liked this video. Join me next time for another Creation Corner.